What's up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and I got a really strange email yesterday. It's something that I joked about a friend of mine that means I finally hit the big time. Obviously it's a joke. But anyway, I woke up yesterday morning and checked my email as I usually do, one of the first things when I wake up. And I had an email from someone named John, and John is part of the development team at Flump Studios. Now, in just the interest of being completely honest, I've never heard of Flump Studios. Guys, if you are watching or listening to this video, I'm sorry I don't know everyone and everything, but you know, I give studios and new people a chance. Otherwise, I just never played another new game again. It would just be rehashes and sequels made by whatever teams anyway. But anyway, back to my point. John from Flump Studios, he contacted me and he was wondering if I'd be interested in checking out his development team's new game called Hyper Bounce Blast. And I had never heard of this game. And he described it to me real quick as well in a small little paragraph. He said it's a twin stick arcade style shooter with a unique jumping mechanic. Now I'll get a bit further into what the mechanic is a little bit later, but he said it's sort of like turning the tables on a bullet hell game. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of good. I like the sound of that. I like twin stick shooters. I like stuff with a little bit of extra mechanics thrown in on them as well. So I decided, fair enough. He did provide me with a Steam key. I redeemed the Steam key. It's how I tested the game and got the actual footage and all. That's where I want to throw this little bit in here real quick, is in no way, shape or form was this Steam key provided to me for the simple reason of giving a positive review or, you know, it's talking specifically about positive things that he asks, or he never asked any of that. So he literally just asked me if I'd be interested in covering it. I used the key, so I'm going to cover it. I'm going to talk about the positive things that I do like. I'm going to talk about the negative things that I don't like, if there are any. I'm just going to put it all out there. It's not paid or biased or anything like that. So it's just going to be literally my actual opinion on the game anyway. So real quick, it is, obviously it's a twin stick shooter. The game currently costs €5 on Steam. It's $4.99 as of at least yesterday morning when I checked after installing it. And straight away when I turned on the game, I was in love with the music. The music is like an old school twin stick shooter brought forward to the modern age and mashed in with a little bit of, say, Geometry Wars music, and then kind of like twisted around a bit more to put their own little twist on the actual modern style of the music, which I love. Absolutely love. You're hearing it in the background of all this. I love all that kind of music, and it worked really well and hooked me straight away. It had me just really, really even more curious to actually just try the entire game. I didn't even care what the game was like, just because the music was instantly so good and so catchy to me. But anyway, what I am going to talk about straight after that is, as soon as I went in, you can see in the visuals right here now, but as soon as I went into the actual game and started playing it, as you can tell by looking at this video, it looks like a mixture of Robotron X mixed with Geometry Wars. Smash them together. This is the style of graphics you get. I absolutely adore that for several reasons. One, Robotron X is actually the original game that got me into twin stick shooters. I did play a couple of twin stick shooters before that. I thought, okay, fair enough, you know, whatever, these aren't too bad. I adored and got completely addicted and loved Robotron X back in the day. Absolutely loved it. Played it for ridiculous amounts of time. Geometry Wars, same deal. In the early 360 era, the early 360 days, I was living on Geometry Wars. More than retail games, I was playing Geometry Wars a lot. So straight away, the music had already hooked me. The style of game, being a twin stick shooter, had piqued my interest, and the visuals had me. It was that simple, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved the visual and audio aspect of it as well. So real quick, I'll get into a little bit of basically what they said as John described it to me, that there's the interesting jumping mechanic that they have. So as you can see in here, my little ball that I control, essentially, the core is where you have to keep the bullets away from. You can actually, obviously you can jump, and you can do a double jump off a wall as well, and you can also bounce on the blue objects that you can see. They're essentially blue enemies that you don't kill by shooting, you actually kill by jumping on them. You can bounce, you bounce off their heads, you keep going higher and higher, and you can see on the sides there's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you're higher up, you're getting a better multiplier, so you're bouncing up higher, killing all the enemies, while you're getting a better multiplier out of it as well. You can also stick onto the roof when you bounce up there, and you bank a score / multiplier basically, which just overall helps with points at the end of the day. And that way you can just throw it around and say, hey look, this is my badass score on it's like level 1 with this basic ass stuff, you know, these basic ass 4 enemies and all this kind of stuff, and I still managed to get this whack ass score. And then you can just lord it over your friends because you're probably a beast. So that's basically how it works. What the other thing, as he described to me as well, is that when you're actually bouncing through the air, obviously it comes into play during the boss levels and some of the actual more hectic levels a bit further on. But what actually happens is, as you're bouncing through the air and all, you're actually invulnerable to enemy fire, which is really, really interesting. Simply because a lot of levels further on, and again we're boss levels as well, they actually get very, very bullet hell-esque. And I remember just playing it for the first time, and once I got to, I want to say the first boss, and obviously the closer you get to killing him, he actually just ramps up the difficulty of dodging and stuff, and it's like this stuff started getting crazy. It obviously got much worse further on down the line. The bullet hell aspect of it got much worse, I should say. But obviously as they did that, it was like, okay, Jesus, thank God that they obviously designed to put in this bullet hell style with to factor in the mechanic of being invulnerable while bouncing. So naturally, you're trying to stay airborne as much as possible, bouncing off as many enemies as possible, killing enemies while flying through the air during this bounce at a high altitude to get a nice high multiplier, all while keeping yourself airborne through other bounces and all, simply to dodge the bullet hell and keep yourself alive while racking up a monstrous score and finishing the level. And that is damn fun. I will admit that is damn fun. It's fairly challenging. It can be really challenging, but it's damn fun. And at the end of the day, that's pretty much what matters, right? So also, I will say, is every couple of levels there is a boss level, and I noticed that a lot of the bosses that I've only came up against, I think it was 3, maybe 4 bosses, and they all have their own interest in the mechanics. Some of them, say for the first boss for example, you can bounce up on the blue icons, the blue enemies essentially that pop up. You bounce up, you land on the blue part of the enemy, the blue part of the boss's head, essentially. Well, we call it head. He's basically kind of like an enemy spaceship style thing. But as soon as you do that, it drops his shield, and then you can just lay into him with as much fire to drop his health as much as possible. And then naturally, of course, he gets his shield back up, or once you get past a certain percentage of health, he basically goes to his next stage, his next phase, his next form, whatever you want to call it. So the bullet hell increases, the complexity of the actual jumping platforms on the side of it to get his shield down again, that increases as well. So it's slowly ramping up the difficulty, which is good, because that way, you know, you're at the first boss, you don't want to instantly be thrown into the entire thing and the whole shebang right at the end of it anyway. So I thought that was pretty cool. I will say, I did quickly try to play with the mouse and keyboard just for a test. The mouse and keyboard is not very fun to play with, so I do recommend, if you do decide to play this game at some point, use a controller. They say it supports 360 controllers. I didn't use a 360 controller. I used an Xbox One Elite controller on my PC. That worked just fine. I had no problems. Didn't have to set anything up. Literally, the controller was installed, plugged it in, booted the game up, boom, it was done. So that was nice, really easy like that. I do not recommend using the mouse to try play this game, simply because I can understand why it's there, just because not everyone will have a controller, but it's just not for me. It's essentially, it's called a twin stick shooter for people, you know it's designed to be played with 2 twin sticks, because I mean, hell, it's in the name basically. There's a ton of different modes as well. There's a lot of stuff like, say, arrange modes and tournament modes and classic modes and all as well. There's a lot of stuff that can be modified, individual settings and all as well. Not just for the music, but the actual, I won't say story, the actual gameplay wise and all as well. And the cool thing about that is it adds a lot of variety, a lot of fun and replayability to the game as well. So we're coming up to the end of the video basically, and we've already covered a lot of stuff I like and all, and what drew me to the game as well once I started playing and what hooked me in. So I'm essentially going to just cover it in with, rather than go through anything else I may have individually liked or disliked or whatever, it's all going to be summed up together with what I actually thought of the game overall. So essentially, I really love the art style. We know that. I really like the music style and all as well. The gameplay was fun, and it was a nice twist on what would usually be a twin stick shooter. Essentially, as well, because you can pretty much officially only move left and right. Yes, of course, you can move up as well with the aid of the jumping mechanic, which is pretty much unique to this game, or at least out of all the twin stick shooters I've ever played, it's pretty much unique to this game. Having said all that, usually you can just move up, down, left, right, diagonal, whatever, the whole way yourself. So, having said all that, okay, what do I actually think of the game? Yes, it's fun. Would I have paid €5 for it by myself? Probably not. Simply because, as it goes nowadays, it's not because it's a bad game or anything. It's just as it goes nowadays, I don't really have a significant amount of time that I sink into a twin stick shooter. Now, having said all that, would I recommend someone else pick it up for a fiver? I'd say a fiver, €5, $4.99, whatever it is in your local currency. Would I suggest most other people pick it up for a fiver? If you're into this kind of game and you like twin stick shooters, or maybe you like the art style or the music style, I'd say probably definitely. Well, I'm not gonna say definitely, but I'm throwing a definitely word around a lot. I would most likely say it would be a good investment in the long run. I know for me, while I don't have enough time to just sit around and pump a serious amount of time into it as well, I'm definitely keeping it installed. Simply because it's easily a game that I can pick up and play for a little bit and say, right, I'm in the need of some quick fun. What can I play that I have for quick fun? Boom, I'm gonna turn on this game, and that's it. And I know for a lot of people down the line that would be worth €5 to me easily. Now I say down the line, I don't even mean like 2 years down the line. I'd say probably a couple of weeks down the line, I would have easily got €5 worth out of this. So it's pretty damn good and easily worth checking out if anything like this piques your interest at all anyway. So basically, that's pretty much it. I want to thank John and the guys at Flump Studios as well for giving me the opportunity to try out this game. I'll have a link to the actual the Steam page for the game in the description below as well. If you have played this game or you're curious about it, or you have any comments or questions about it as well, you can leave them in the comment section below. You can hit me up on Twitter, you can follow me, my link will be in the description below. You can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, you can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below as I've said. And thank you for watching me check out Hyper Bounce Blast on Steam from Flump Games. See you in the rest of the videos in my channel.